A little video on Jean-Jacques Rousseau, some of his key ideas and what he thought, and we've done a little experiment. We've asked people what they thought of these key ideas and concepts and whether they still apply today.
So basically the concepts we asked people were: does society corrupt man? Does the state of nature and natural man were idyllic? The idea that wealthy are obsessed with their status and it's at the expense of the poor, and many of Rousseau's other beliefs, like on the general rule and stuff. So,
yeah, let's go and take a look.
Does private property and the private sector protect the rich at the expense of the poor?
Not necessarily, because it's fundamental that you have the private sector, because you always need rich people and you always need poor people. It's the yin and the yang of society, and therefore you shouldn't be against the public sector. The people in there are such a vital component to economics that you shouldn't be against it.
Rousseau believes we can give up our natural rights to the state and remain free. Is this really possible?
I don't think this is possible, because we would never be fully willing to sacrifice our free will for the greater good of society. The government already has limited access to our data, such as internet history. Therefore, I find it hard to believe that the population as a whole would be willing to allow further intrusion into their personal lives.
Naturally, we're all born good people, but it's society which corrupts us. Is this true in modern society?
I think it is society that corrupts you, because I don't feel you can be born evil. It's not genetic. I think it's due to the upbringing and what socialisation, education and family you have that determines whether you're good or evil.
Argued that we are all inherently born good, but we become corrupted by the evils of society. To what extent do you agree with this?
I would argue that we are born either good or evil. I'd say that my mum was a good person, but I wouldn't say that when I was born I was automatically a good person because she was. I don't think it's genetic. I think it's developed after you're born.
Cheers. Rousseau believed in something called the general will. This was something that everyone should participate in, even if it's against your private interests. Private interest should not be put before the good of everyone. To what extent do you agree with this?
In an ideal world it would be good, as it would lead to equality and freedom. But in reality it won't work, because people will let their feelings, their emotions and their opinions get in the way. They're naturally selfish and would always want to do what they feel is best. For example, if my mum was to kill someone, would I go and tell the police, or would I just let it continue? Obviously for the greater good of everyone I would tell the police and have her locked up, but obviously my emotions would want me to stop, so she's not put away.
Cheers. All modern society inequalities we experience are characterised by the existence of different classes and the domination and exploitation of some of others. In contrast, Rousseau believed that human inequality doesn't exist in the state of nature. To what extent do you agree?
When we're born, I don't think there is much inequality. However, there are like leaders and followers, so some people would take like a dominant role. However, as we grow up, I think the social environment impacts people, and there's definite inequality there, like slavery and stuff. The external environment definitely influences that.
Or if there was no evils in society, it was just everyone was in the state of nature, do you still think that some...
No, I think there'd still be inequality, definite leaders and followers intrinsically.
Decent, cheers.